clarity and wisdom to it then too. When he was saying everything was teaching us, I admit I didn't understand it in the beginning. Because here, Ajahn Chah was the teacher giving the teaching. So he was teaching us, not everything else. He was teaching us. But now he's gone. Passed away 16 years ago. So if I depend upon him to teach me, no teacher anymore, I'm lost. But what he was trying to point at is, we look at our mind, we keep our attention in our own mind, and then we are observing from there that anything can teach us. And sometimes some of the most unexpected things can teach us. And one of the common themes he would emphasize is, for example, he was mostly teaching the monks in the monastery. And living in a monastery, sometimes a big monastery like his monastery, Wat Pa Hong, it was 35 monks, and there was 15 novices there, about 50 people there for the rains retreat. And there's lots of going on, lots of things happening. Sometimes maybe you want to be quiet, and then somebody else next door is sweeping the leaves. Oh, very noisy. Oh no, it's disturbing my meditation. You get some irritation there. So he would say, maybe somebody goes to Ajahn Chah and complains. The monk should be meditating. Should be doing walking meditation and sitting meditation. He's sweeping the leaves, making noise. Ajahn Chah said, oh, who's getting angry? When Ajahn Sumedho first went to England, they had to stay in a house in London, in North London. And across the street was a pub. You know what a pub is? Yes, a bar. Yeah. And this was very progressive. This was in Hampstead, see. So they had live music in the bar, see, at night. And in the summertime, very hot in the apartment, so they opened the windows. And then the music comes in the windows, see. Sitting meditation and then live music next door. So when Ajahn Chah came there, the monks complained about this and saying, it's so noisy here, all this noise next door. How can we meditate? Ajahn Chah said, you disturb the noise. The noise doesn't disturb you. You're the one who makes the noise. Because it's our mind that's interpreting it. It's just sound. It's just sound. And my mind says, good sound, bad sound. My mind says, it makes me peaceful, it makes me disturbed. It all happens in your own mind. It's just sound outside. Of course, it's a hard practice, huh? But he's always pointing back to the real source of wisdom. The source of suffering is in our mind. And this is in the Thai language. This is very relevant to the Thai language. Because in Thai language, to understand means to enter the heart. Khao Chai means enter the heart, is understand. Westerners say, I understand up here, see. He says, no. Up here is just the brain, see. But the real source of wisdom is here. The real source of understanding is here, in the heart. Spiritual heart, not the physical heart. This is more pointing out the kind of wholeness of the teaching. The brain is more the intellectual source. Huh? You get the information here in the brain, because just in the head, there's 5 senses here, right? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body's all over, but then there's the brain too. There are 5 senses just in the head here. So you can get very, very attracted to the brain, to this area. And they're pointing at down here, where it's more centered, more grounded. It's actually a bit more on the experiential side, to be able to experience it, not just hear, see, smell, taste, touch, but experience in a whole way, wholeness now, a full way. It's what we call wisdom, knowing yourself, wisdom then. Not just having an intellectual understanding or knowledge or information, but direct experience. So Ajahn Chah's teaching, it's very simple, and now his teachings have been translated into about 20 languages now. In Europe, they translated his books into French and German and Italian and Portuguese and Spanish and Czech and Slovenian and Slovakian. Now people have lots more interest in these teachings about the Buddhist teachings and about meditation, how to develop your mind. We've had so many years of information about the mind, but now people want to have some direct experience, how to work with the mind, how to deal with the mind. This is something which each one of us has to find out for ourselves. Buddhist teachings give us certain guidelines, certain templates. Unless we're actually practicing it, we don't really know. We can know that anger is not a very skillful thought, right? But how to work with anger, something else. Be able to open your mind and listen to it. I think probably most people are reacting in a similar way as those in the West. I haven't taught in Asia for very long, very many years now. Mostly I've taught in England and Switzerland and now New Zealand. So people in the Western countries anyway, emphasizing their intellectual faculty more often, they can understand certain concepts, conceptual ideas about anger. They know it's a bad thing. But without having the practical way to work with it, we have two choices. Either you go with the anger, you take it over by it, or you suppress it. Ignore it, suppress it, try and get away from it. But to really understand something like anger, what we have to do is go to it. Possible? This implies we have some degree of stability of mind, calmness of mind. When the mind is calmed down a bit more, we don't react so much. Something like anger comes along. If our mind is still and quiet, the anger comes along into it. We don't react to it. The mind comes into the mind and we're with the quiet, the peace now, not the anger. And with the practice of awareness or mindfulness, you can actually observe these particular states of mind. You are the one that observes it, not the one that's reacting to it. When we're able to do this, at some degree of calmness of mind, you can begin to study something like anger. I know a lot of people have mentioned to me how difficult it is. Something like greed. One of the unskillful states of mind is greed. But that's okay, right? Keeps the economy going. We were walking in the airport in Bangkok now. I was telling the Thai monk, this is a new kind of temple now. The temple of money. The temple to worship money. See? And those are the bigger temples now than the Buddhist temples. Now in Thailand, they had many years ago they built the main buildings in Thailand were the Buddhist monasteries. Now the biggest buildings in Bangkok are shopping centers. So now the temple of money is bigger than the Buddhist temple. So greed is okay. Greed is allowable. It keeps the economy going. But anger, no, be careful. Anger is not very politically correct. Not very nice to have anger. So many people have difficulty trying to relate to this, trying to deal with anger. But it was the Buddhist trying to give us the possibility of working with it. When our mind is somewhat calmer, mind is somewhat clearer, we can actually study anger. We begin to open our mind to it. Say, what is this anyway? There is, we think of it as one thing, anger. When you begin to open to it and study it, it's an energy, very powerful energy. And if we can tune into it, we can learn to work with it.